welcome back to Safety Harbor, Scott. I'm Scott Long, and my guest this week is Cammie Lumpkin, the new president and CEO of the Safety Harbor Chamber of Commerce. Very excited for you. Known you for a while, been a member of the chamber forever, and just an exciting transition going on here. Loved Susan, loved you, so now it's going to be interesting to see the changes and difference, right? And what's sticking, what you're keeping the same and what you're going to be doing. So we'll talk a little bit more about that a little later, but let's start with Susan. We've had a number of great goodbyes for her. She's enjoying retirement now, but she has been there for 9.5 years and oversaw unprecedented growth. I always like that word. So
definitely unprecedented growth. She has really left a great legacy to me with a well-run, healthy chamber, and that is just a fantastic thing to come into. You know that I've been there over 2 years and learned so much from her, so I kind of know that history of the chamber and where we've been, and inheriting a chamber that is in great shape just makes it that I have a jumping off point.
So much more exciting, right?
Yes. She's given me a chamber where I don't have to fix things. I just get to change things to take us to the next level.
Yeah.
And that's a really great place to be.
Absolutely. So, have fun with that. We're definitely looking forward to it. So, let's start with this, because I get this question all the time. You get it way more than I did, probably. Why should I join the chamber? Now, for me, it was always interesting because my first company never really benefited from the chamber, but it was like $200 some bucks or whatever. And I'm like, I'm helping the business community. So it was an easy sell for me. But there are some other folks, and as well too, that they want to know what they're going to get for the money. So how do you answer that question?
So we get that question, like you said, we get that question a lot. And that answer is different for everybody. There are some businesses that they really can benefit from a lot of the little membership benefits we have. They can put promotional items in welcome bags. They can advertise with us in multiple ways. They can go to networking events, and those are all great things, but that's not for everybody. But the chamber is for everybody because we're a force for change in the community. So we support, I think most people don't realize how we support the community. So if you join the chamber, you are part of that community support, that change. We're bringing people to Safety Harbor all the time. We are the tourism arm of Safety Harbor. I don't know that many people realize that. We do have a visitor center, but we promote tourism all over the state. Any rack cards at rest stations, any ads you see, for Safety Harbor, those come from us. And then on the community side of things, we gave $10,000 in scholarships to Safety Harbor students this year. So we work with our schools, with our nonprofits, and those initiatives are part of our mission to just continue to aid a thriving community. Everything we do is to make sure that we can all live in a vibrant, thriving community that's good for our businesses and good for the people that live in Safety Harbor.
Yeah, thank you for that, because I've been here 21 years, 22 years now, and this city was dead when we moved here. Dead.
So, we're always doing things to make sure that we grow as a city, and whether you take advantage of going to networking or not, being part of the chamber, you're part of that bigger community piece.
Absolutely. Okay, so joining the chamber is not just paying money and then hope you get something out of it. You have a lot of different ways for people to get involved in the chamber once they join. Do you want to talk about some of those?
Yeah. So, like I said, there are all of the promotional. There's a promotional side of it, of benefits that you can advertise. You can be in a leads group, which is essentially a small referrals group, mastermind, if you will. So there's that piece. There's the business development through other members, and working with other members. There's the promotional side of advertising, getting your promotional materials out there, having those promotional materials in our visitor center. But you can also be a bigger picture member. You can be essentially a stakeholder. You can sponsor an event. We have Rogan in the pub, and they've got their banner up every Friday week. And so everybody knows who they are and that they support our community in that way. But they're at a level where they don't need to go to a coffee on a Tuesday morning. So it's kind of, there's things to do for every scale, for every size of business.
And there's an opportunity to shape it, right?
Yes.
Too. I mean, I think that's an important message that, I get this all the time. Like, oh, there's only realtors at those meetings, or only whatever, right? But I'm like, if you show up to the meeting,
Yeah.
you get to voice your opinion, you get to do something,
yes,
right? So,
you could be on the board of directors, you could chair a committee, you could, there are so many different ways to be involved, and they don't all involve what you might think. That you don't have to go to every happy hour to get something out of the chamber. Your involvement could look different. And I always encourage people, come see me, my door's always open. Let's sit down, let's talk about your business and what your goals are, and let's come up with a custom plan for you and figure out how you can benefit from being with the chamber. Maybe that's that you want to work with schools, and we've got a new initiative, and you could be a big part of that, and a big part of that decision making process to figure out what that program's going to look like.
Fantastic. Okay, so we got to talk about Third Friday, because the chamber took it over. It's been 2 years now almost, and not that the city didn't do a great job with it, but I think anybody who goes now just is seeing the potential of this event when it's under the chamber's purview, right? So talk a little bit about that growth, and kind of what makes Third Friday so much better now, maybe.
Well, like you said, it'll be 2 years in June, and it's flown by. It seems like it was just a few months ago. You were in meetings with us talking about how Third Friday was going to go, and we had months of planning and meetings to figure out what Third Friday was going to look like. If the chamber was going to take it on, it had to benefit our members, directly benefit our members in our town. And how do you do that? We had a fairly clean slate with it because the city had not run it during COVID. So we had a break from Third Friday. So we really had that opportunity to shape it. And, the big decision was that we didn't have a beer truck anymore. We weren't going to get that money from a beer truck, that we wanted to leave that to our downtown businesses and give them an opportunity to sell alcohol, to sell food. So we really encouraged them to get out on Main Street. We wet zoned 9 blocks of Main Street, which was a big footprint increase as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it had been smaller, leading into COVID. So 9 blocks wet zoned. That way, all of our restaurants and bars can sell. People can walk Main Street with those drinks, and I think that's made a huge difference. For a lot of our businesses, that they tell us that's one of their biggest nights, if not the biggest night of the month.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And that's exactly what we wanted. That was our mission. That if we are going to put the manpower, because there's a lot that goes into an event like that. There's a lot of manpower, a lot of planning, and it takes up a pretty good amount of our time.
Sure.
So in order to make that worthwhile for us and, to our members that are investing in us, we need to make sure that it adheres to our mission, it supports our mission. And I think, we've accomplished that. It certainly does.
Absolutely. And I'll give you a chance to brag here a little if you want, though. I honestly can't find on a monthly basis more music in one little tiny street.
Yes.
Than on our Third Friday. And it's just amazing to me. And I'm friends with most of these hospitality owners. And what I'm seeing now is everybody's trying to one up everybody else. So that it's not just music, it's better music every Third Friday.
Yes.
It's insane, isn't it?
It's great quality music. And when we started, we wanted that, but we were like, let's, do you remember a lot of those meetings? We're like, we got to take baby steps. We'll get there. We're going to start small. We're going to work our way up, and my goodness, we're there.
Right.
We get calls. We have some members that help us with the entertainment map and put out a beautiful map every month with all of the music. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh my gosh, how did we get here?
Right.
Our community has just come out and really, put everything they've got into this. Our restaurant and bar owners, the music that they're getting is really incredible. And you can see that our community wants it because of the calls we get. If we don't put that map out by Wednesday morning, our phone is ringing off. Where's the map? Why don't we know? What music is it going to be? And they're like, okay, literally as soon as I get that map, it's on Facebook, it's on our website, it's emailed out. We are putting it out the minute it's ready to go. But that is very telling that people want that and they're happy, with the quality of music that we've got at Third Friday because of all of those phone calls every week.
And we might talk about this a little more in the 5Qs, but I'll ask now because obviously as it gets bigger and bigger, it gets a little more challenging. Am I correct, I would think?
Yeah, big time.
Because all good things also have, I hate to say negatives, but things that bother people,
a lot
right?
Of things have to be managed.
Right. So where are you on that now? Are you worried that it's got too big? Probably not.
Not worried. No, I'm not worried. I just had a conversation with a member about this this morning, and what that means as we grow is that we really have to be conscientious about kind of the outskirts of the footprint of Third Friday, and part of that is our relationship with the city and the fire department, and we've gotten to the point where we have regular meetings. The fire department puts together an incident plan with our input, and so that makes that relationship we have with the city even more vital. That we sit down quarterly or so and we talk about the issues that are going on and what our plan is, how we can kind of make things a little bit better. And so we're always open to feedback, and we're always making little tweaks and changes here and there as we go. And I think that's why I'm not worried about the growth, because we have a team in place. We have that relationship with our city,
Sure.
And so that we're able to just make things better and better as we go along, and keep that line of communications open.
Awesome, great. Okay, so definitely want to spend some time about, obviously you're brand new in the job, so what's going to be new? What's the Cammie vision? And I know we talked before the show started that right now you're just trying to get some things switched over on the boring stuff of your job, right?
Yes.
But once you get through the boring stuff, give us a little preview of what you think your vision is going to be.
Where do I start? Like I said, I had a great jumping off place, with a really healthy chamber. So that leaves me with a lot of fun opportunities. And I am really taking my time. Good change and effective change takes time. And so right now I'm being really strategic about how I plan the next 1 to 2 years, and roll out different initiatives in time. Right now it's a lot of little changes, like some branding changes, changing the visitor center, some kind of easy, quick tweaks, revamping our ambassador program, just little things like that will be immediately benefit our members that we can change fairly quickly. And then, we're down the road, we're looking at, like I said, different community initiatives. We're working on Partners in Education. It's really in its infancy. That's going to be leadership, mentorship with our youth, and connecting our schools and our businesses. So, change like that and initiatives like that take a lot of planning and strategy. So we're in the beginning stages of those kind of initiatives, which I'm really excited about. We are looking at some tourism things, like a map app. We're looking into things like that, so that we're really the place to go, for our visitor center, for our tourists.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Well, we'll look forward to seeing everything as it develops. So, all right, I'm going to do the news here, and then we'll get to know you a little bit better with our 5 Qs here. So, all right, the news this week: a 17-year-old Honduran teen who recently arrived in the United States died last week at a safety harbor facility that cares for migrant children awaiting reunification with their families. The medical examiners conducting an autopsy, but the team's mother said he had epilepsy and was otherwise healthy. Meanwhile, U.S. Senator Rick Scott toured the facility with Rep. Anna Paulina Luna and said he didn't see any cause for concern, but would like an investigation nonetheless. And Monday, the City Commission approved 3 ordinances that will reduce water rates for some residents while also increasing some fees for all residents. And things to do this weekend. Of course, Friday is the Third Friday Music Festival, and we talked about the music beforehand, but this week, Stormbringer, Electric Woodshed, Whiskey Throttle, those are just the first 3 that I noticed, so it's going to be a really good Third Friday. Thursday, you can drop off some personal care items to benefit the Homeless Empowerment Program and enjoy some wine at Sips Wine Bar. And Saturday and Sunday, Shamsi hosts Tapestry, a weekend of socially conscious storytelling. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but it sounds fun. So more details on all these things and news and things to do can be found on the Quad 34695 app, available for free at Google Play and the Apple App Store. All right, so now our 5 cues.
This is a scary part.
I know, it is scary. See?
I want to do this part.
I don't like to have everything scripted. So.
Right.
All right, so you probably know we got choices. The famous Hungarian violinist of the 1680s.
Has anybody chosen?
No one's ever taken it yet, so you could be the first.
The last. It's just I only have 2 choices.
The other one's business.
Well, you trapped me.
I didn't trap you. I mean,
feel trapped. Business.
Who knows? Maybe you majored in violining and wherever you went to school. No?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
I majored in fun.
So now I gotta know where'd you go to college?
Clemson.
Okay. All right.
Everybody majors in fun.
All right. Not a big fan of Clemson. I'm a Ohio State fan.
No.
So.
We have a lot of Ohio State fans. I like those relationships. I like watching games with Ohio State fans.
Well, good.
Yeah.
I like watching games with Clemson fans when we win, but not when we lose. Okay, cue number 1. Business person, alive or dead, you'd most likely to have lunch with, or most like to have lunch with.
Oh my gosh, business person, alive or dead. There are so many, and I wish I could. On my list of things to do today, I had dinner last night with Sue Legree, and she introduced me to, she's died, a long time ago, but a chamber president in Texas that really transformed her chamber and then went on to politics and really did some neat things. And I wish I could remember her name, but that is who's on my mind right now because she's on my list at work to look up, to read her bio, to just, dig a little deeper and see what she was all about. So right now, it's her. I just don't remember her name.
Well, hey, that makes lunch all that more exciting, right? Name tags. To me, it's got to be Warren Buffett, and I like the fact that you can have lunch with Warren Buffett.
Yes,
because he does an auction every year.
He does, yeah.
I mean, I can't afford an auction, but I like the fact that he does.
Together. We could all have lunch.
Right? I just think it's amazing that here's a guy that's one of the richest people in the world, and he lives modestly like the rest of us, and his whole strategy towards business is just so unlike everybody else. So, if you haven't studied him, if you've seen movies about him, please do. He's fantastic. But let me know how this chamber person
I can picture her face in my mind. Her name's escaped me. I see these kind of questions, they kill me. That's what happens. I told you. I like this stuff.
All right, cue number 2. Brand that you think is really killing it with marketing. Could be local, could be national, doesn't matter.
Brand that's really killing it with marketing.
I don't know if you're easily, like my wife makes fun of me all the time because she says I'm easily marketed. Like I'll sit there in front of a commercial and I'll be like,
so I'm not that way.
Okay, that's good.
And really lately, I couldn't tell you what's going on TV. I don't watch TV. We don't have commercials anymore anyway, right? I'm not online that much. I've been really kind of head down working, and either I'm at work and I'm working, or I'm at Little League watching Little League. So that at this point in my life, I don't notice those things as much because I'm really just working. All
right, so what's a brand that you buy from the most then? Because that's obviously being effective for you, right?
What's the brand I buy from the most? See,
I promise you these questions are only going to get harder, Cammie.
No, man, I'm not a shopper either. When do I shop? I'm still wearing clothes from 20 years ago. I don't shop either. Oh my gosh, I'm not good at these. I told you that. Yeah, like I said, I go online for work, but not really for personal.
All right, so I'll give you something to check out. Because I'll tell you my favorite right now is Progressive Insurance.
Oh, I do love theirs.
See, all right, I knew I said it. Now it's coming back.
Yes,
because that's a testament to how good they are when somebody's sitting next to me and says, I don't watch any of this stuff, but it.
I do see it. They do have commercials during sports. That's about all we watch.
Well, pretty much any insurance company's commercials are pretty funny, but theirs are great. And I'll tell you why I think they're really killing it, because they have this recurring ad, Dr. Rick. This guy that helps you not become your parents, right?
Yes, I love him.
They actually wrote a book from Dr. Rick.
I saw that. I did see that, yes.
And they give it to you for free if you go on the website.
Do they really?
It's genius.
Oh my gosh, that is smart.
Genius.
Yeah.
So anyhow.
Yes.
So check them. You already know now. So
Yep.
All right, cue number 3. This one should be easier for you.
I don't know.
If you have a crystal ball, what is the future of business in Safety Harbor? Let's go 10 years. 10, 20 years. You pick a number. I don't care.
The future of business in Safety Harbor.
Again, remembering 20 years ago,
yes,
it was dead.
Yes, yeah.
I should say commercial was dead 20 years ago. Industrial, I think, has
always been strong in Safety Harbor. Well, we know there's not a lot of space in Safety Harbor.
Exactly, right.
The amount of times we get phone calls a day, asking us if we know of any space, commercial space available. So there's not a lot. The few spots we have are filling pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think our businesses are going to get stronger. And, right now what we're seeing is our businesses that have opened in the last, 3 to 5 years, they're sticking.
Yeah.
Things are going well. So I think that's the future, is that our businesses are going to be around for a long time.
That's a little less of a crapshoot.
Yes,
right?
Yes. And those few spots that are available are going to get snatched up. But there's no real place to grow as far as that goes. I mean, we'll have some multi-use buildings pop up here and there,
probably some redevelopment.
Redevelopment, so it's really going to be redevelopment. Some of these buildings that are ready to go, people will eventually snatch those up. So, I don't see it changing drastically, like from 10 years ago to now. We're there, but I think we're going to see a lot of businesses sticking around and some redevelopment.
I like that answer. All right. Cue number 4. Did you ever have a lemonade stand or something similar when you were a kid?
Oh, all day, every day.
Really?
Yeah,
all day, every day?
Kid entrepreneur, yeah.
All right. See, I know, you get a good question this. Okay, all right. Tell us all about your kidpreneurship.
I sold hair bows for a while. I made hair bows for, I was like 7 or 8, maybe a little younger.
Not ones you made, or did you make them?
Yeah.
Oh,
and went to shows and
really
sold them, yeah. So, that was probably the biggest one when I was a kid. But yeah, I was always selling something. Always with some kind of business idea, selling artwork. So, you name it, I was selling it. Going to, little craft shows and things, and babysitting. I was that kid that made flyers and put them in 200 mailboxes to babysit. So always very entrepreneurial.
I like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my dad and I had a little flea market business, so that's where I got that entrepreneurship bug. Mm-hmm. Thinking back now, it's hilarious. We used to load up our Dodge Ram Charger tables on all these boxes and set it up, and then watch these people haggle over nickels and dimes. I don't know if you've had a garage sale recently, but I've never
doing
it again.
Anymore. I'm not
right?
doing it.
Yeah. I mean, you saw my driveway, right? So
you can't have one on your driveway. It's
so
the only hill in Florida.
This is my favorite story from our very last garage sale, because I'll never do it again. I had a bunch of playing cards, Mm-hmm. And I was selling them for $0.25 each, nothing, right?
Yeah.
Woman talked me down to a dime, and then she's like, "I got to go back to my car to get it." So she walked all the way down my driveway. She didn't come back to get in her car to get a dime, to walk all the way back up my driveway for a deck of cards, and I'm like, okay, this is not me.
So my last garage sale ever, I was probably 12, and I sold.
Nice.
I sold my Little Pony castle, the whole thing, all of them for $15, and never again.
Yeah. You're smarter than I am. Yep, absolutely. All right, final cue number 5. How do you think artificial intelligence is going to change business? Real hot topic now.
I just had a call about that.
Did you?
This morning.
Not surprised.
With a vendor. ChatGPT.
Yep.
Do you know about that?
Mm-hmm.
It was funny because I am interested in that for the chamber. We're always fairly short-staffed. Mm-hmm. We are small but mighty, and we need all the help in that department that we can get. And so it'll do a lot of incredible things for chambers. And I mentioned it at home, and my 14-year-old said, "Oh my gosh, that's on the Senate floor right now. They're talking about ChatGPT." And I was like, "Oh, what?" And I had no idea. And he was like, "Yeah, people, people are losing jobs because of ChatGPT, and kids are cheating, and it's a mess with ChatGPT." And I was like, "Well, I kind of want to try it and use it." So I'm kind of behind on that one. Apparently my 14-year-old is all
14-year-olds are always ahead of us.
Yeah,
They're
he's all
always
over
ahead of
it.
us,
But Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of crazy, crazy things happening with AI. And it's really, like I told him in that conversation, it's tough because it can be used for good or it can be used for evil, and that's going to be a really fine line for a long time. And so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
where it
I
goes.
recently took a big deep dive into it, and I'm like, it's just amazing. I'm like soaking up as much as I can because, um, on one hand, you have these people talking about it's going to take away my job, and then the more you look at it, I've kind of determined that it's only going to take away your job if you don't understand it.
Yes.
So if you understand
Yes.
it, you're going to be able to
You
figure
can
out
utilize
how to
it
use
to
it, right?
do your job better. Yep.
Yeah. And you had a great example. You have a short staff company. I'm like, you can have some
Harness some of the power of that.
mundane stuff that we have to do every day and let the computer do that.
Yeah, I talked to another chamber president in Fort Myers recently, and he said they use it for project management.
Yeah.
That it'll put together a list for you. Obviously, you have to edit that list and be aware. But it'll put together a plan for you. You can say, I want to run a golf tournament.
Yeah.
Make me a task list.
Yeah.
Make me and you drop it into Excel and. Instead of having a staff person researching and building
Absolutely.
that you could have AI do it for you. And I think the trick there, like I said, is still being in control of that information and still making sure that you're not just taking it forward, that you're looking at it and saying, okay, does this look right? And I think that's where people get in trouble too. Yeah. They just rely on it.
Well, that's where the new jobs are going to be.
They're not using their brain to say, okay, but I need to tweak this.
Yeah. That's going to be fascinating.
Yep.
All right, well, thank you, Cammie, for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for having me.